That's right, gamers. It's time for the news. We've got map queue. We've got the trading post being upgraded to Chromium. We've got some balance stuff. We have the tragic nerf of the Gyala Delves fishing zone and a few little mini bug fixes. Harvest Temple CM Orb Strat. You gotta do it properly now. ArenaNet says you're not allowed to do the illegal push strat. So, unlucky. Have fun in your pugs for a while. But let's get into it. So, number one, we have the map queue beta. Ooh, very exciting. Now you can go ahead and queue up to join a map that's full. It will tell you how many people are in the queue. It will tell you where you are in the queue. And when the queue finishes, you get a pop-up just like World vs. World that gives you some time to click join, and then boom, you'll get in the map. Or you can say, well, actually, you know what? I don't want to. Some kind of fun stuff about this, by the way. You can actually move maps on the same character. You don't have to stay on the same map. You can go do something else, and then if you get in, you'll be able to teleport in. That could actually be pretty key for certain maps like Dragon's End, potentially, to get in. But I do think this is a pretty cool feature overall, long awaited. However, I think... Okay, let me try and actually talk about this in a way that I think makes sense. The main part of this is not actually about getting into full maps. The real quality of life here is actually determining if a map is doomed and you're never getting in or not. I think previously, you kind of go, I'm going to get in, copium, 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 I'm going to get in. The map is like full, it's been full for 20 minutes, but I'm going to get in. And you keep spamming right click. Because sometimes someone disconnects you, but you yoink their spot, it happens. But now, you're going to know, okay, yeah, the map's got like 25 people in the queue, this ain't happening. So I think the real benefit here might actually be that players will be incentivized to basically say, I'm not right-click spamming anymore, I'm going to go join another map, I'm going to make this map happen. So I think that the real benefit from this will actually be essentially a bit of a realism being injected into people's lives. They'll know they won't be able to get in, and I think that means that they'll look for other maps, and that should actually overall kind of almost like spread players out. It's not going to be everyone trying to get into one or two maps. It's going to be like, oh, well, we're going to have to try and make do. And I think we could actually see a couple more maps start to spring up a lot of the time there, so that players will kind of be more evenly distributed, so everyone will be able to get in. So I think that's actually a good thing there. It'll be either that, or if it just makes everyone just give up and abandon ship. Who knows, right? Well, I guess we'll see how it plays out. But I actually am a big fan about this. I think this is a really nice addition to this overall, and it will certainly be something useful for me to know. Like, am I going to get in, or should I simply just create my own map and just tag up, right, and go? So classic scenario has now been fixed. Oh yeah, DX11. DirectX 11, it's here permanently. DirectX 9, it's a thing of the past. It's thrown in the trash. Is this really relevant for you? Honestly, not really. Unless you happen to have a computer that's like 15 years old. Unlucky. One thing to watch out for is this does actually mean that Windows 7 support, I believe, is coming to an end. And that could actually be relevant for some users who are still using Windows 7. I believe the support for Windows 7 is being dropped at some point in the future. So kind of watch out for that in that regard. So stay tuned. Windows 7 users, all three of you out there, okay? It's time for Windows 10. It's time to upgrade, okay? We have the Chromium embedded framework as well. Ooh, spicy. Now, what has this actually done? So, they have changed the actual user interface of the trading post to use a different framework, which is more performant and a little bit more up to date. So, now, in theory, the trading post is a little bit snappier with the UI, won't lag as much. However, let's be clear here. All of the click a button and it takes 10 seconds to sell sometimes, that hasn't been fixed because that's on the server. This is something that ArenaNet, in my opinion, should 100% look at. The really big performance hitch has always been server-side, not on the UI. The UI has been a bit laggy, but now it's hopefully going to be a little bit better. But I still think ArenaNet really... I would actually like to see them really go for another full rework, almost, of the trading post and just make it better. Better filtering systems, more performant. Because at the end of the day, interacting with the economy is pretty much the most important thing in a new player's journey. And you know what? I get mad at the trading post sometime. I find it frustrating. I think it's really annoying when I can't sell more than 10 items that I've been stacking up for a while because it says error, don't place any more orders. I think I get angry when I click a button and it doesn't, you know, it just won't sell my stupid item. Just give me the, get rid of it, okay? That's annoying. And if it's annoying to me, it's definitely annoying to new players. And if new players kind of dread interacting with the trading post and it's frustrating to interact, that is going to really inhibit their ability to progress and just make the experience a lot less fun overall. So I'd still really want to see some improvements and iteration upon the trading post overall because it is such a vital system to Guild Wars 2. The economy is the beating heart of not only the game, but also every player within the game. There it is. Few bits of world polish here. Harvest Temple, Strike Mission. They fixed a bug here. Nice. I'm glad that they are hopefully trying to get through these bugs. Basically, this is the bug. That you have to push the orb through different circles to basically decharge it and then break it to actually summon the boss with a Defiance bar. What was happening, this bizarre bug, if you just push the orb off the arena, it would bounce to the middle and then get the Defiance bar, allowing you to skip that phase. This is a very common strategy in pugs, simply because it's fast and efficient and just a little bit less of a mess, right, when you're dealing with random players. Now that coordination check is back to the game. Definitely tell people this. I actually did a pug today. It was the daily, and not everyone knew this, so I was careful to inform them so that they were aware of what was going on, so that we could, you know, do it properly and not feed. Went pretty well. You know, it's the Giants kind of got us good, but there it is. Bug fixing is a big deal. It's a big deal, and Strike missions are supposed to be the premier content for Guild Wars 2, and there are severe bugs in almost every strike mission. There have been bugs that have been in the Icebrood Saga strike missions since launch. There have been bugs in the End of Dragon strike missions that haven't been fixed since launch. Okay, it's not like a bug that's appeared. Some of them have appeared, but there have been bugs that have never been fixed. And I hate to kind of be, you know, I kind of bust ArenaNet's balls a little bit here. If this is the content that is the premier squad content in Guild Wars 2, it needs to be better maintained. So keep doing it and bug fix it more. Simple as that. And, oh, tragedy. The fishing nodes at the Celestial Pool and Gyala Delve will now appear after defeating the Ravenous Wanderer. So this was basically an attempt to fix people parking their characters there without doing the meta. Some people said, oh no, you know, this is terrible. It's awful. You can actually still double fish. What you do, I actually tested this before going for this read-through, because I wanted to make sure to find some strategies. What you can do is, you beat the boss, then you immediately go to the pool and fish, then kill all the little mini-bosses, wait a couple minutes, then you can fish again. So you can still get all of your 4 pools, because you can get 4 a day, basically, from Gyala Delve. You can still do that in one cycle of the meta event. And I was excited. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to tell everyone, this is how you get you know, your Nautilus, this is how you get that insane ambergris. I got 11 ambergris the other day, 11 chambered Nautiluses in one go. But then, I started fishing. I was excited. I was like, yes, I can't wait to share this with everyone. This is the new farming strat, the new Gyala Delve strat. And I was getting perma-toadfish. Sheetfish. I got 2 Nautiluses. And I actually, this is not me just getting really, really unlucky. I actually had a lot of people with me, about 40, 50 people. I asked them how many Nautiluses did they get. The maximum was 5. By far, the most common values was 1 or 2. So it does appear that it has unfortunately been nerfed quite hard. I think the average Nautiluses before today was about 6, maybe a little bit more than that. Like around that region, it was about like a 50-50, slightly better than 50-50 drop rate, I think, ish, in that sort of region. Now it does appear to be significantly lower. Right, which kind of sucks. I think the meta will still be decent value. The nerf is justified. This was a pretty busted farm, right? Especially if more people started doing it. It was kind of OP, to be honest. Like, being able to get, I got, 11 ambergris in one meta was quite broken. But seems to be quite a harsh enough. Maybe I got a little bit unlucky this time. I will kind of continue to test this out a little bit, but the meta is gone from absolutely insane, awesome farm, hit this every single day, blast it. Even if you're not AF, doing the alt parking, it's still really, really good because the event is decent. But Now after this, much less attractive to farm. Still worth it, especially if you're looking for ambergris, I would say, but not quite once what it was. I wonder if they'll do another pass on the rewards there, because bear in mind, they nerfed the rewards big time initially. It's nowhere near as bursty. You have to kind of grind it. They made it more grindable instead of bursty, and now the fishing has been nerfed too. And seriously, 2 days after I started doing it, I was like, no, I will never fish. And then I was like, whoa, this is OP, I'm doing it. So, kind of sucks, but it is what it is. And yeah. And that's the fact. I'm just telling you the facts, guys. And yeah, apparently, by the way, this isn't even in the game. Apparently, you can actually still do the alt parking. However, that is probably a bug, right? Or maybe it isn't. Maybe this is the bug. Maybe the patch note shouldn't be here. Maybe they meant to say they nerfed it. But yeah, apparently this actually isn't in the game yet, but who knows? Sometimes the patch notes lie to you. And we've got some PvP stuff as well here. And these are actually targeting two somewhat surprising contenders. It's going to be Scrapper and Untamed, basically. So I guess we can start with Untamed. That one's a bit more straightforward. Essentially, Untamed got a bit of a wallop, right? The teleportation ability got a cast time, so you couldn't do these kind of crazy one-shot combos with Untamed. It was pretty uninteractive, so that was what it changed. In exchange, CMC said, we're going to make Signet of the Hunt awesome. And yeah, he absolutely did. Signet of the Hunt became very powerful with super speed application alongside all of the unblockable and the passive movement speed increase as well. So this actually became very strong, and Untamed, in fact, became very powerful as a result of this. It was, you know, people were like, oh no, the port is gone, our insane one-shot combo is gone, but it then turns out that Signet of the Hunt brings it back and made it very, very strong. So a slight nerf to this, to kind of the ability to access this unblockable and super speed uptime is going down from 20 to 25 seconds in PvP. Pretty fair change, because again, Untamed performing very, very strongly in the current metagame, so that makes sense. Same with Scrapper. Scrapper, the recent changes to Scrapper and just the metagame shifting in general has made Grenade Scrapper an absolute menace, especially in ranked PvP, where high mobility, very high damage builds are incredibly strong, and that's exactly what Scrapper is, particularly with the Sneak Gyro. And these are what these changes are actually targeted at. Like, CMC is targeting the uninteractive parts of Scrapper. In other words, getting obliterated from stealth with not really a lot of telegraphing on Sneak Gyro with a grenade barrage. Very high super speed uptime, because super speed in general can be really annoying to play against, because if you have it up all the time, right, you can't catch them, right? And with grenades, you keep throwing grenades at people, it's very hard to actually catch the Scrapper, and you just get kited out and you die horribly, right? And in general, function gyro damage goes down. I'm actually amazed it has such a high power coefficient. What? 1.0 power coefficient on function gyro? That is actually mad. That's funny. But these changes, to be honest, are actually pretty conservative, I would say. It's very clear to me that CMC wants to keep the damage high. He does not want another bunker, kind of Scourge, disgusting, Core Guard, meta, right? And we see that with the buffs to Staff on Ellie, right? Getting rid of that Obsidian Flesh, the very high invuln uptime obsession, right, that a lot of these builds had. He wants to keep the meta fast and explosive. Grenades in general are a bit funky. They've been a bit of a problem in the game for a long time. They can be a bit frustrating to play against, I think. But CMC is trying to chip away at the build in a way that makes it more interactive and more fun and less frustrating to play against without deleting it. Again, he's making sure that damage is staying high so that games stay fluid and explosive, compared to just slowing down to a crawl by nerfing everything's damage. So I definitely approve of this approach overall, and I definitely think that looking at stuff like the stealth application on Scrapper is a very good way to go in this regard. And you can see here that it's 1 second of stealth down from 1.5 and pulses from 6 to 5. That's a very significant reduction in stealth, and this allows players to counterplay against this better, right? Because what this means is that they won't be able to kind of travel as far in stealth, if that makes any sense, right? So it gives you more opportunity to maybe notice them stealthing up, so you can kind of be ready for it in a way. Like, you can understand, okay, right, the Scrapper is... You can almost like track the Scrapper in stealth. Stealth is much less of a problem if you can kind of guess where they are, right, in a way with this kind of stuff. It's a big nerf. So I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. And I think we'll see, bear in mind, these are some hot fixes, right? This is not the balance patch. I think we'll definitely see a lot of buffs and probably a few nerfs here and there in the main balance patch coming up on May 2nd, I believe. And we'll probably be hearing about that very soon, maybe even this Friday. Kind of depends on what the hell's going on over at ArenaNet HQ. They've been a little bit quiet recently, so we have to kind of stay tuned and see if they're going to have any kind of communication. There should be a studio update coming as well, speaking of that. Speaking of the news, that's on its way as well. Okay, it's potentially, it's about to get crazy, guys. It's about to get crazy here in Guild Wars 2. I almost can't say that with a straight face. But anyway, final change, and I'm not happy about this. You know, I'm not gonna pretend that I am. There was a great change recently. Been a long time coming. You know, ArenaNet, they made a bold move, a very bold move. They removed Weaver from the game. Honestly, I had an actual standing ovation. I was so happy that finally Weaver, the plague that it is, removed from Guild Wars 2 entirely. And it was a bug, right? That's why. There was basically this crazy bug that happened that allowed Weavers to do about 1 million damage per second. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, 1 million, by the way. You could one-shot people in World vs. World and PvP. Oh, not PvP, only World vs. World, I think, actually. You could obliterate raid bosses solo, because it made you unkillable as well. Right, I won't get into the details, but it doesn't matter. Basically, Weaver was completely broken, and was causing some, obviously, pretty serious balance issues. And it was just like a weird interaction with like an item that you could use basically that would allow you to use abilities with no cooldown and just spam it with an auto clicker and just one-shot people and raid bosses. So yeah, they fixed it. Good job, ArenaNet. Well done. And Weaver is now back on the menu. So don't worry, Ellie mains, you're back in business. For a brief, glorious moment, you had 1 million DPS. I mean, that's a big nerf, you know? You've been nerfed from 1.6 million DPS down to a pathetic 40,000. I mean, seriously, there's got to be some forum threads about that, right? But yeah, good stuff. Yeah, there is one comment I want to make about this, by the way, though. This bug has kind of happened before. This was a very similar bug to Musical Renegade and Deadeye as well. And this is a little bit bothersome to me. It seems that ArenaNet really have a tough time fixing bugs. This is maybe something for another video even, or like another talk, but I really am I get a little bit worried when I see stuff like this like constantly cropping up again, because it's like the same thing. It's some kind of weird interactable item completely breaks the game, and they hotfix that specific item that breaks it. They seem to not be able to fix the underlying issue that that fixes that. But anyway, that's basically the news. In fact, some pretty cool stuff here, I think. Definitely looking forward to what's coming next. You know, a little mini patch here, a little microscopic patch with some cool quality of life getting added into the mix and some systemic updates there. So there you have it. That's all I've got to say. Unlucky on the fishing fans. Seriously, I was about to make a video about those Nautiluses, and ArenaNet screwed me. Maybe I'm going to upload it anyway. I'm going to say, guys, this is so crazy. I got 11 Nautiluses. Everyone goes there, they get like 2, right? And then below, Teapot, you clickbaited us. I was like, yes, I did. I did. How does that feel? I owned you. But at least it was fun. But anyway, that's it. So let me know what you think, gamers. Give me your comments. Give me your information. Which one of these faces are you? Are you sad? Are you confused? Are you haha? Are you thanks? Trophy? Are you like? I don't know. You guys tell me. Anyway, that's it. Follow, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. And I'll see you next time.